Okay, so today's video is going to be a review of setting up elevations for your kitchen project. So let me just share my screen now. And I'm going to kind of walk us through all the opening up in CAD too. So I'm just going to review this because every class we've had folks kind of sometimes be working in their house projects instead of their kitchen. It's really common. It's easy to make that mistake. So as much as we might see the pictures here and want to click and open our project that way, the better way to do it is to go over here to open project. So we're making sure we're opening the one that we want to actively be working in. So right now it's defaulting to the house project for Tech 1's class because that's what I worked in last. So I want to go to through my directory, and yours is going to be a little different. I'm going in my case to my USB, which is my D drive, and then I have a folder for Living 2. There's my kitchen project. And so this icon with the little red box, that's the project that's going to open that. So we're going to just click on it, double click. Not much is going to happen other than you're going to see it turn bold. We can say close, but then over here, here's where the project navigator has popped up. So you want to make sure that yours says that you're in the kitchen project. And again, the opposite for the afternoon class. So right now I'm going to open this up. Here's my base kitchen file. And I kind of cheated. I pulled it from last year. So this is what I drew last year for this class. And again, a lot of us have very similar layouts because of the shape of this room. So to add a view, I've already got one here, but I'm going to make a new one. So I'm going to kind of just delete this guy just so we don't have it kind of distracting us. So what you're going to do is over here in the project navigator on the view tabs, you're going to click the second button in where it says add view. And you can pick section elevation. I'm going to just do a general view because it's a little bit cleaner set up. So I click that. The name is going to be kitchen elevations, and then say next. It's on the first floor. So click that, and then next. And then this is where we're going to go to the very top, unclick everything. So right there at the top, when I unclicked it, everything was unselected. And then I just want to select just the base kitchen plan. I say finish. Now, right now, this is my base plan here that's still up and active. I'm going to leave it here just because we might have to go back and forth and edit it. So now I'm going to double click. So I'm left clicking twice to open up kitchen elevations. And here it is here. Now, if I click on it, you'll see it's not separate individual parts. That's because this drawing is an XREF, meaning this drawing, the base plan, has been pulled into here, kind of like a block. So this is what it's going to look like here. Now, to set up the elevation, what I want to do is I want to go over to my tool palettes. So in this case right here, it says tool palettes design. So there's a couple tool palettes we can open up. So right on kind of the gray bar where the letter is, I'm going to right click and see here right now it's checked for design. I want to open up document instead. And this is where in yesterday's afternoon class, I showed you where dimensions were too. In our case, so there's dimensions. We want callouts. So we're going to click here. And we want this tag here. This is the elevation mark A1. There's other ones we can use, but for this project, it's going to be fairly simple and only 2 sheets probably. So we're going to left click on that. Now, right away, I can see this is way too big. So the problem here is I need to check the scale on my drawing. So in my case, mine is at 1/8 inch of a scale. So instead, I want to make that a 1/2 inch. While I'm doing that, I'm also going to double check that my base kitchen plan is also at 1/2 inch. So right now, this is what's called paper space. It jumped on there by mistake. There it says work. They've changed it from work to paper space. If I want to click model, it comes back here. So this is a problem. It was originally at 1/8 inch in the original drawing. So I'm going to put that at 1/2 inch. Control S to save. I'm going to go back to my kitchen elevations. So now it's still a 1/2 inch down here. So if I pull this tag in again, it should be much smaller. So I'm going to left click on that. So that's my elevation tag right there. And see how it's much tinier? That's the scale it's supposed to be. So I'm going to left click here. I'm going to make sure I have ortho on. And I'm going to go up straight, kind of outside of the room a little bit. Now this window pops up and we first want to tell it that we want a 1/2 inch elevation to be drawn. And we want it here in the current drawing. So the next thing it's asking down here is it's saying specify the first corner of elevation region. So basically tell me where I'm making this elevation. So I'm going to left click outside of my house over here on the top right corner, drag down. Now I don't want to go through the island because I want this elevation to be as if I were standing in that blue spot looking towards this wall. So I'm just going to click like that, left click, And then now it's asking me, where do you want me to put this elevation? For now, I'm going to put it over here on the left. So I'm just going to left click once and it's drawing the elevation. Now, in my case, things look pretty good. So this cabinet here was a tall cabinet that came in all right. I have some drawers, I have my doors. A lot of you might have to change your windows. I realized mine aren't actually double hung, so that's not actually correct. So I don't know if I changed them last year. One of the things, so if you find your windows are way too short, like down in your cabinet, or way too high, you actually have to go back and fix them over here in the kitchen plan. So whoop, we gotta go back to model space here. So here's my kitchen here. So yeah, so I think last year I replaced their 3 double hung windows and gave them a much bigger window. So, but if I wanted to say make this window taller or shorter, I click on it here. The way this works is if I slide down here, you want to have the location of these windows, instead of being head, you want it to be sill. That's going to measure from the bottom of the window. In my case, I have it at 3'4". So my cabinets, including my countertop, are at 3 feet. So then I've set my window 4 inches above that. Let's change that a little bit just so you can see the change here. So if I do 4 feet and click there. So right now, the reason you don't see it is because it's above the cut line. So the cut line on my drawing is 3'6" down here. If I make it 4 feet, and I can help you with this in class if you have it. Now I can see the window. So right now, my drawing is being cut off at 4 feet. We can see the window now. So I have to Control S to save. Then if I go back over here under kitchen elevation, sometimes I'm going to get a button saying reload. It doesn't look like it did that yet, but it'll come up here. Let's see, we'll just let me do this again. Control S, see if we can get something to pop up so you can see that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just move a cabinet around or something. I'll move this guy just for the heck of it and see what happens. Control S over here. Still hasn't reloaded, did it? All right, so in my case, I'm going to have to right click, say reload. There, it's moved over there. I'm going to put it back just because that's kind of crazy. All right, so then there we go. Control S. Let's go back over to here. Oh, there it is. So now you can see it. The button has popped up saying you've made a change. Do you want me to reload it? Yes, I'm going to reload it. And you get this it's basically showing you what you changed. It said you went from this red area to this green area. I'm going to click the green arrow to say yes to that. And then now that should be all set. Now for my window to see the changes, and if I were to have moved this guy around too, you're going to left click on the drawing, then right click and hit refresh and see how my window just popped up there. In my case, I feel like that's a little too tall. It's a bit much in there. So we're going to change that back to, I think I had it at 3'4". So the other thing I want to check is the height of my walls. Some of you, we caught this in class, others not necessarily. So again, since this was last year's project, I may have gone ahead and fixed that. CAD brings in your walls at a default height of 10 feet. For your homes, that's not usually the case. This home I do know is a more modern built home. So generally in older homes, the ceilings are 8 feet tall. So your door is 7 feet tall, and then you have a foot above that for your ceiling. In more modern homes, they're going to 9 feet tall. So right here, for some reason, I have the walls at 8 feet. So I'm going to change that to 9 feet instead. Make this a little bit kind of more of a modern home. So this is so what I did is I selected all the walls under the base height right there. I clicked 9 feet. So we're going to Control S on that. Go back over to the kitchen elevations. It's asking me to reload. And let's see, and then we're going to green check. And now if I click this and say refresh, you should see the ceiling pop up a foot. There it goes. See that? So that looks a little better. This guy still looks like he's up kind of too high. So I'm going to go back and double check where my windows are at. So you're going to be doing a lot of this fussing around with things before you explode it. Oh, I forgot to change it. So it's 3'4" is what I like there. All right. So then we're going to Control S, go back to here, reloading, green check, and then click on this and refresh. And there it goes. So My model worked out pretty well. A couple folks in class are missing some things. We're going to kind of strategize that. This is my dishwasher, so I need to bring in the front elevation of the dishwasher. I'm also going to need to bring in the front elevation of, this is one of those like wall stove units. Other than that, things are looking pretty good. So you want to double check all of this stuff before you explode it. Now, to explode it, we're going to go to def points. We're going to give ourselves, actually, I'm going to put def points on a different color so you can see that too. So if we go all the way down to def points, right now it's white. I'm going to make it my standard like purple. So, okay. All right. So the way this model works is, the easiest way to get it is this corner right here on the bottom right of this base cabinet is this corner right here. So we want to line these two up. So I'm going to just kind of draw a def point here. Make sure snaps are on. I'm going to zoom way in to make sure I'm exactly on that corner, because that's going to create problems if I'm not. So I'm going to go up to about here, hit escape. Then, like I said, I'm doing all of this before I explode it. For now, too, you can take this elevation tag out because we'll kind of clean that up and put one in later. So we can take that out if we want. So I'm going to move this. So I clicked move, and then I clicked on it, then I hit enter. Now, again, it's asking me what's my base point. I want to make sure my base point to move it is that tiny little corner right there. I'm going to bring it over to here and line it up. See where that green midpoint is? So I'm going to click that. And now this is perfectly aligned to what I've drawn below. So some of the things we'll note is that this is the left corner of the room. So I want to bring that line up as a reference, because sometimes it gets confusing between all the, like the door molding and things like that. So far, this is kind of pretty well complete, other than the things I need to add to it, like a kitchen faucet. But right now, there's really no more edits I can do in the 3D model of it. So it's okay to explode this now. So to explode it, you're going to go up to the little explode box here. So it's 3 under the move. So there's move, erase, and then explode. You're going to have to explode it twice because it's like a block within a block. So explode it once, and then see it's still a block. So we hit explode. We hit it again, and now you can see all these separate little lines. So the first thing I did with everybody, and I'll help you do this too, is you're going to take out this the thickness of the wall, because this is actually showing the wall in section, which we don't do in our elevations. So I'm going to delete that all out. There's going to be like 8 lines that make up this wall, so eventually you can clean that up more. I also got lucky that sometimes in the class there was these tiny little green lines that are almost like the insulation, I think, in the wall too. So right now that's pretty well cleaned up. The other thing, don't forget, is when we go to draw this, this is the top of your cabinet. You still need to draw 1 inches up your countertop. So this is just the box of the cabinet you buy. Your countertop still goes on here too. We also talked about all of these base cabinet, or these wall cabinets, sorry, right here are 30 inches. So they are they're very old fashioned. You want to give your client at least 36 or 42 inch high cabinets. So what I just did is I drew a def point layer here, and I'm going to offset, and then I'm going to, so I just typed in O, 36 inches, and we'll see how we like that one. That one looks pretty good for my house. I'm feeling like that gives them enough storage. You can also offset 42 inches and see if you want to go even higher. So some of you might want to go even higher. I kind of like, for me, I like this 36 because it sort of kind of lines up a little bit more with the window. I might now, though, even though I've exploded this, I might decide to make this window taller too. So one of the things I might do is, this is the molding of the door, I might want to line my window up. So the way this is going to work for the cabinets and the windows are going to be the same. So let me take this line out just so we're not distracting ourselves first. So what I told everybody is, most of you, this is not going to be the style of your cabinet doors. So we're going to take out the inside kind of like sort of decorative lines there. And we're going to do it over on this one too, because chances are I'm going to have a different style door. And we'll take out the handle too, because a lot of these handles are kind of sort of ugly. All right, so this is the frame of the door here right now. So in my case, these are not European style. They're not going all the way to the edges. They're framed. If you're going to have a frameless style, then you just take this whole door out, because this box is basically what your door is going to look like. So let's leave that for now. So now to make these guys taller, I'm just going to move. So I hit in my case, I hit the M command because I don't need to go up to the top here. I hit enter. I select these two and these two. Then I can right click to enter. Then the base point is going to be at the top here. So I left click there for the base point, and then I bring it up to it snaps there. So this now is going to be the height of those doors. So one of the things I can do is I can use the fillet command, and I'll take this guy out for a minute just so you can see it. So here's the fillet command. So this edge is going to go to this edge, and then I go back up again. This edge is going to go to this edge. You can also just drag them too. So like in this case, if I just drag this point up, it'll connect. And then this one, let's see, this one's going to here and here. I think this, oh yeah, this is the door. So this one, let me see how this one works. Oh no, you know what? I got that wrong. This guy here is the edge of the cabinets, because there's one on the left here, and then there's a like a blind corner one here. So this guy goes actually like this and like that. This one, I think I'm going to drag this all the way up here. Let's see, this goes all the way up right there. Now this guy's interesting. So let me put back my my def point line. So this guy is the side profile, let's see, of this cabinet here. So you're basically seeing the side door of this. And this right here is the door you're kind of seeing. So we're going to move this and this and that little piece all together. So they're going to go all the way up to here. And then this one actually goes from here. So I'm doing the fillet command again from here to here. And then this line goes all the way up to there. And I can take that away so you can see how these look finished. So this is kind of what's for homework. It's fiddling with all this little stuff, cleaning up your cabinets, cleaning up your doors and drawers. If this is where you want your handle to be, that's fine. You can leave it there. But a lot of people for their base cabinets are looking at handles that are going horizontal, say, instead of this one that's going vertical. So you're going to be doing the same thing for the base cabinets, cleaning up the doors. However, they're already at the right height, so you don't have to change the height. You're just cleaning up the doors. I'll show you quickly with this window, which honestly, I should have done it kind of via the CAD first, because that'll be a little easier. But this is stuff that we can always do after the fact. And so I just moved it. I'm moving it up here, and then I've got to fill it around all these little windows to bring up all the edges. So I'll do that later, kind of off camera, so you don't have to watch all that. So some folks are already moving along with this. The next stage, then the question was, what layers do these get drawn on? This is where elevations become a bit more like, say, your class with Lynn in terms of their presentation quality. So we have layers here in CAD for when we put them on the floor plan, and they're really important because we want things to be certain levels of like darkness and thickness too. However, for elevations, you have some kind of freedom to get a bit more artsy with it. So I've worked with some firms where they'll have up to 20 different layer styles that determine the thickness, the darkness of the lines, things like that. I've made it kind of easy for you where we're going to have less than that. We're basically going to have 4. So if you go to, actually in this case, it should be our morning class. So it's our living class. We get it up there. Go to our living class Moodle. If you go all the way down to the kitchen project, keep going, and we want the elevation line weights right here. So you're going to click on that. It's going to take you to the Google Docs drive, and just automatically we're going to hit download for it. It's going to open it up down here. So I'm going to just click on it to open it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all this. So I'm just collecting the whole thing, Control C. I go back into kitchen elevations, Control V, paste it in. Now I've left these labels in so you know what we're going to use them for. So you can also change the colors. We talked about this in class. There was a couple of years ago when one of the students decided on these as a group. They like these blue colors. This blue, however, is hard to see. So I'm going to, even right now, we can kind of make this a different color. So this guy is, we'll make it wider here. It is this A elevation thick. Let's see where it goes. Oh, it's right up at the top here. So let me see. Let me make sure I'm picking the right one. It is E elevation thick. So under E, all the way down here again. Oh, sorry, I keep missing it. Did I pull it in? And there it is. Okay, there's a dark blue. I'm going to make this. Don't pick the lines down here, but I'm going to make it. Let's see if we can see that one better. We want them to be different enough. Like the year we did them as a class, we were like, oh, this looks darker than that one. I don't know. I might even just make it a whole different color. Let's make it like a green or something like that. Okay. All right. So you can make this whatever color you want. It's programmed right now for the thickness and the blackness. So the color of the line itself in CAD doesn't matter. It's already programmed to print the way we want it to. So in this case, I'm going to match properties. I'm going to pick this one. This first color is going to be your whole border of your house or your room, actually, sorry. And let me get rid of some of these step points so you can see it. So this line here, you can tell in the ceiling is made up of several lines. We're going to delete that guy and we're just going to drag this one over. The same with this wall. So I click match properties. I'm picking the bright green now. I'm picking this red. The rest of these lines I can delete out because there's kind of multiples there. And then we're going to pull this one down. Now on the floor, it gets tricky. There's a separate segment of wall under each darn cabinet. So honestly, the easiest thing to do is just go to that layer. So in this case, it's the A elevation thick. Where did it go? There it is right there. And I pick a line and I'm just going to draw on top of it because this guy will come out darker than all the others. If you want to get kind of fussy and kind of clean it all out, what I do is I literally go through and I just delete every single one. But you can see there's a lot of lines there that are kind of coming in from the 3D model. So some of you also might have your sinks down here on the ground. So you'll want to clean that out too. That's what some of this stuff is it's like the sinks and other equipment. And let's look at this one quick. So yeah, so it's not, doesn't take terribly long, but it's a little bit fussy in how much stuff is there. These aren't too bad. Let's see, look at that one, look at that one. So now if I want to make this guy, the thick one, we're going to click there with match properties, and then we're just going to drag it over. And now that's kind of the frame I want for my elevation. Now the next one over here, A elevation medium. This is what you're going to use. Let me zoom in for things like the windows, the outline of your cabinets, the outline. When I say the outline of cabinets, that would be this side here, because if you think about standing there, that part on the right is actually closer to your face. It's more in the foreground than the background. You're going to use it for your countertop too, so that stands out a little bit more. You might use it for your faucets, so again, that we see them more prominently. This blue line is this kind of nice, crisp, clean, thin black line. You can use it for things like the doors of your cabinets, any kind of any other details with appliances, things that might be a little bit farther back. There's no hard and fast rule about this. I'll show you kind of as we set them up to print how you can play with this and change them. The hatch, this is basically a layer that comes out gray. So they take 50% of the ink out. So 50% of black makes it gray. And then, so this will be things like your glass. So I'll show you how to draw that in a minute. And also your tiles, because eventually we're going to draw tile backsplashes. So for glass, the way we indicate that is we actually don't need these green lines. These are just showing us how this window works. So I'm going to delete those out. But to indicate glass, you just draw. So you take off ortho, take off snap, and you just kind of freehand draw a couple of these kind of diagonal lines. Usually they're done in a grouping of 3. Oops, there's my line like this. And then I want this to be on the hatch layer. So I'm going to hit match properties. I'm going to click the hatch, and then I'm going to click all on the gray. And then that'll just give me a light gray line that indicates that's glass. If you have any glass stored cabinets, you're also going to use this too. All right, so this is kind of where we sort of finished off in Thursday morning's class with folks for homework now are going through and kind of editing and cleaning these pieces out. And I'll be reviewing them in class on Monday and kind of helping you tweak them. And then we'll work on doing what would be the right side or the east side of the kitchen too. All right, hope that's helpful. And I will see you all next week too.